Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Catalina 293 RLDS. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. So let's talk about arriving at the campsite. A few things to take into consideration when arriving and looking at your camping spot for parking. On your campsite, you're going to have this slide to think about. Then you've got your little opening for your outdoor kitchen, but you also got this big awning that's going to take up more room than all of that. So leave plenty of room for that to come in and out. Over on your off campsite, besides your big deep slide, also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Yours are going to be in between the middle, in between the front and your tires on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Will be both your power and your water, so park accordingly so you can utilize facilities at the campsite. Once you get there, unhook our hitch. First thing we're going to do is level our unit. You do have a power tongue jack on here with a night docking light. Should you arrive at night, simply raise. In this case, top button is to lower, bottom button is to lift it until you got your unit level. You can close your slide up, find the middle of your unit, put a stick on level on there, and keep an eye on that while you're bringing this up and down. Once you got it level, next thing we do is stabilize it. Before you go to stabilizing, if for some reason you lose power, the stabilizing jack handle that I'm getting ready to show you how to use will also second as a powered tongue jack hand crank to bring this up and down should you lose power. So don't worry about it. If you lose power, you can get that up and down. Speaking of power, check your battery posts when you arrive. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose. Back to stabilizing. All four corners of the unit got these scissor stabilizing jacks. Before I run them down, I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt, debris, hot blacktop in the summer. Going to keep them from sinking into the ground, better distribute the weight. Really good investment. Use your 10% off coupon. Get a 4-pack of those, run them around, and run these down just until they are taut on top of those jack pads. I'll show you here on the ground. You can use an impact driver or drill gun. Just slow down when you get to the bottom here, because all you want to do is get it until you've got some type of resistance on your hand crank. Remember, unit's already level. All we're trying to do now is stabilize it. Run all four corners of them down. You've got your unit level and stable. Let's go ahead and hook up your power and water. It's this big long 30 amp cord. Plugs in the side here. The way the new ones go on here is they'll go into the left once they're in, turn it to the right, and then put this black washer on. At the end of that 30 amp service, you need to plug into a 110. There's a 30 to 15 amp reducer. Throw that on the end of that cord and you can plug into a 110 with it. Got your power hooked up. Let's hook up your water. At campsites, we're going to hook up to city water connection. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. Always use this when hooking up your city water because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Hook that up, hook up your hose, but don't turn your hose on yet. Just down here to your left is going to be your hot water heater. And now we're doing at this point, maybe your second or third trip, you already know it's plugged. But if we're just taking off, just making sure our drain plug's in there. Get that in there with some plumber's tape recommended. Get that in there nice and snug. That is 1 1/8 inches. Once that's in there tight, you can go ahead and turn on that hose. Now if your hose has been running for a little while, go inside, open up your slides, because I need you to get to your water taps. Get to your water taps, open them up, get all the air out of the lines, get a nice steady flow of water going through them. Once they're flowing well, shut them off, then you'll know that your hot water heater is full. Then you can turn that on from indoors. There is an on-off electric element down here. Do not turn this on down here unless you're hooked up to 110. You see it is set to off. It's the only time you ever want to turn that on out here. If for some reason your hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, look to see if these are bubbled up. They are reset buttons. Simply press them back in, and then this is your pressure release valve. All right, now let's say that we're gonna go camping and we're not gonna use city water. We're gonna go boondocking or dry camping. In that case, we're gonna fill up our fresh water tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here. We are gravity filling this with a hose. Two ways to tell when it's full. There's an overflow valve right here, or on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tank, there's also a freshwater reading. Once you read that that's full, and don't leave this unattended while you're filling it. Once you read that's full, remove that hose, put that cap back on, and then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump and hook to city water. That is already pressurized. All right, we're all set up with power and water. Let me walk you around the rest of the outside of the unit. Continuing here on the off-camp side, again, your hot water heater up front. Back down here to fresh water. Your freshwater drain will be that blue one there. A flue for your furnace. Two things on this. One, make sure it's never blocked. And two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of it. It does get hot. Your low point drain for campsites. Cable hookup. Your shore power. City water connection. There's a hot cold shower here. You can put your handle up here. It's actually up at a height that you can actually take a shower or rinse off from the beach anyway. Sewer outlet connection. We'll pull our black and gray tanks here. Sewer outlet and wastewater. On your slides here, these wipers, you want them to stay flexible over the years. They actually have a spray that you can spray on those to keep them pliable. It's going to add to the longevity of the life of your wipers. Continuing around the back here, you do have a spare tire with a cover. Take your prep for a backup camera. Looks like they may have had one on their back in the day. I'll tell you real quick on your license plate cover. You pull on this front, that whole front will pop right off and you can mount your plate here. Come around to your campsite. Got our outdoor kitchen area. Lighting here. Fridge. Outdoor speakers. These are access to the back of your fridge. That's a vent for your microwave. A couple more outdoor speakers. You're prepped for a TV here. You can mount the TV right here. Here's your cable and 110s. Up front, your pass-through storage. You also prep for solar panel. It's not pass-through. I see a panel over there. Pretty deep storage. You are prepped for a solar panel. You can plug in a solar panel right there and it'll trickle charge your batteries, keeping them new. Your propane does come with a cover. It's on a regulator. Put it lefty-loosey to open. Green means you've got gas. Point it toward the tank you wish to be using. And that about covers everything on the outside. Let's go take a look on the inside. Alright, so coming up inside the unit, first thing I like to point is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone who's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of an emergency. To your right as you come in, bunch of lighting, mostly interior, exterior, your awning. On your awning, just want to show you, we just got done cleaning it, still dripping a little bit. You only want to run this out until you can see that gray bar. Normally your flap will be dry. We'll run it back up so that will fall here eventually when it dries a little bit. You only want to run that out until your flap falls down and you can see the gray bar. These will continue to run themselves out past that point and start to run themselves out backwards. So keep an eye on it when you run it out and make sure you only run it out again till you can see your gray bar and your flap falls down. I'm going to let that dry like that. To my right, both my slide controls, we utilize those when coming closing the unit up. Over here is where you turn on your hot water heater. Here's where you turn on your water pump if you're using your potable water. Here's your brand new battery. Fresh tank. That's the one I said hold down to tell when your potable water is full. Black and gray tanks. Continuing over here, our thermostat. Quickly turn that to cool. There goes your AC. Shut that back off. Switch this to heat. Crank that up. Here's the register kick on. Now you'll notice when I shut the heat off, it takes a few minutes for the register to cycle through before the fan actually shuts off on the furnace. Down here, your 12 volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, that's always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping or boondocking, and you're going to be gone for the day, I didn't see a battery disconnect on this, so go ahead and use disconnect one of your battery posts to keep this from running your battery down while you're gone. 110 here. Table with an extension, some storage under here, and an extension. These are covers for your sinks, stored in here. Got your couple of tables or chairs here, recliners. Your sofa over here will jackknife down, lift up the front, gives you a little storage in there, and that will lay down for another bed. Lift up the front, pull it back towards you, and you jackknife back. Oh, this is individual lighting up here. Some remotes for TV, sound system, and fireplace. Crank this TV up here real quick. There's your local TV channel. Shut that off. You want to scan wherever you're at, digital channel scan. Run for channels while you're out. You have a couple of HDMIs that you can also connect to this. I'm hitting input. Get my input back to TV and then shut it off. Sound system. So 3 zones: indoors, outdoors, front bedroom. All 3. Looks like we've got auxiliary, AM, FM, DVD, probably CD player as well. Yep, DVD, USB port down here. So you do have an aux in, even though this doesn't seem to have a Bluetooth. Down here, your fireplace. Crank that up. Turn that on. Over here to the left. Now I can go through and show you, make it brighter or dimmer, but the biggest thing, folks, is the heat. Crank this heat up to high. If it's chilly in here in the morning or evening, instead of using your gas up, crank this up and it'll get it toasty in here in no time. If you're plugged in the campsite, why not use your electric to get it warm in here? Another 110. Norcold fridge. Simply turn it on for gas. That light is flashing, then your gas is low. Self-explanatory microwave. You do have a light underneath here that's individual as well. Have a light and fan above your cooktop. This metal piece here folds back and makes a nice backsplash. Hit this to light. Get your spark when your gas is on. These will light up in here. You do have a pilot light to light for the oven. Coming back into our bathroom, excuse me. Turn this light on in here, which is over to my right, sorry. 110 with GFCI reset. Some plumbing to maintain. It's almost mostly PEX nowadays. Just keep an eye on it when you access panel to it down there. Make sure your shower door is snapped closed for travel. Going back into our bedroom. Lighting up top. Lighting above both your beds. 110 beside both beds. A little bit of storage under your bed. Access to your water pump. Also, your breaker box and fuses. Ton of 15s in there, a couple 40s. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. Prep for a TV back here. Got a mount, or at least a backer if this mount doesn't work for you. 110 in cable. And that about covers everything on the inside. So act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. I like to start in rooms I know are going to be shut completely off, have no slides in them. Shut my bedroom lights off. Come to my main control panel here. Shut off all of my lights. Then I can see all the individual lighting I need to walk through and shut off. I'll do that real quick. Now that I've shut off all the lighting except for what can be controlled from one switch here at the door. I'm going to say doors and drawers. Walk through your unit, make sure all doors and drawers are closed. All these here are going to be like ½ inch from each other, so get everything closed up nice and tight. Get your chairs, swivel chairs back tight. Chairs here back tight. Nothing's going to impede your slides. Again, doors and drawers. Come here. You're going to hit slide in. That looks to be our dinette slide over there. Above your dinette was the smoke alarm, I forgot to mention. Once our slide is in, you hear it stop. Come to the one below that. It's going to bring in our kitchen slide. You see how important it is to have all those doors and drawers closed. Make sure that your sofa is up into the sofa position, not down into the reclined. When you hear that noise is okay to hear. That's just the slide saying, I'm in all the way, don't take me in any further. Shut off our lights and exit the unit. I did bring the awning in. Before you leave the dump station, and I say that in case you want to go inside and check the levels on your tanks while you're dumping. After you leave the dump station, lock and deadbolt this door. You don't want the horror story of your door going open while you're traveling. We'll fold up our steps. Bring up all of our stabilizing jacks. Unhook our power. Our cable. Our water. If we're boondocking, we don't need to unhook any of that. We just need to dump this freshwater tank. Hook up our hitch and head on up to the dump station. Now at the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is going to be in between your tires, in front of your unit, about dead center, on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. That 10-foot hose coming to your convenience pack. Hook that up, and the first one we're going to pull is that sewer outlet connection. It's going to be your black handle over there. Once that sounds like it's no longer draining, go inside, check your black tank, make sure it's empty. Close that handle and pull our gray handle, wastewater holding tank. That's going to be cleaner waters, our sinks and our showers. That'll clean your sewage hose out for you. Once you know that's done, go ahead and take your sewage hose and conveniently and sanitarily store it here in your bumper. Lastly, we're going to get up underneath here and let these low point drains drain. When them are done, if we're done camping for the season, we'll come to this hot water heater. Make sure you lift up on this pressure release valve. Dump all that hot water out of there. Careful, it's going to be hot. Then push that back down, otherwise your door won't close. Then you can pull this drain for residual water. Hook up and head on home. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Catalina for many years to come. Happy camping.